Hey, this is your host, Chris Christie, and this is the Gospel Street. Real quick, I wanted to make a video and talk to you about spirits. Um, just know in religion is spirituality. So some people they just practice spirituality, they just deal with the spiritual side of things, and that's all religion is. It's just organized, okay? Where you like go to church or whatever the building is, and you have like a whole practice. But you go buy a book, you sing songs, which is worship. Either way it go, whether you in your house or at church or wherever you going, you can do the worship and praise and the tools that get the spirits going. The tools that conjure up these spirits and call on them to get them going. And so that's what you're doing. So I want to tell you about spirits real quick. For those of you that don't know, there's a whole lot of spirits out there. When you look into other religions and just religions in general, you know that. Back in the day, one of the first noted places was Egypt. With you heard of the pyramids, right? And they worship gods, and they didn't have a book. They put a lot of the information about their gods and how they worshipped them and practiced on the temples. And so people can go into temples and those pictures and hieroglyphics or whatever that stuff is. Some of that stuff have pictures of their gods. Like in Egypt, it was Osiris and Horus and all that stuff, and Seth, and their gods had wives and children. And then, like the Roman Empire, the king worshipped the sun, um, named Ra or something. Anyhow, there's a whole bunch of spirits out there. It's a whole bunch of gods out there. In the United States, we're into Protestantism mainly, and we worship the one and true God, is what it's called, which is the Most High God. Okay, and He's got a bunch of names. Okay, I just call Him the Most High God, and then some people believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and some don't. Now, in Protestantism, you've got Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Of course, in Christianity, a big percentage of Christianity believes in Jesus Christ of Nazareth. There are some that do not believe in the Trinity. And then Judaism doesn't believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth like we do. They believe in a different type of Jesus. And Islam, of course, believes he was a prophet. And then they have their own prophet, Muhammad. Sorry to scratch my nose. So if you look at it, religion as a whole, people have different beliefs and gods that they worship. Everybody does not worship the same God. So that brought me to wonder and want to look deeper into it to figure out what's really going on. So there is a documentary on Netflix that Morgan Freeman did and does. It's a documentary called Who is God? And he travels these different religions. He goes to India to check out Hinduism. They believe in a whole bunch of gods, not just one. But the energies, the power is gods to them. But they got like one main god. And I forgot that god name. One of them is like Krishna or something. I can't remember the god names. And that's like some really spiritual stuff. So I don't want to be talking about other people's gods. But they worship the river and all that. So we recognize God with nature. Because some people used to worship the sun and the moon and nature. Then you got the Maya and Mayan civilization. We all heard about the Maya civilization with the predictions of 2012 and about the world going to end. Okay, now they was around, I think they said 15,000 years ago. So listen how long they've been talking about the world going to end. And they still talking about the world going to end now. I mean, things is bad. But back then, 15,000 years ago, they was talking about the world was going to end. They always saying that. Like every generation that existed on Earth says the world's going to end. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to look into history to know your history, because when you living in the present day, you only getting the information for right now. But when you look in history and see, okay, they worshipped all these gods, they thought the world was going to end back then. It's the same stuff going on now. You see what I'm saying? So what is the truth? But yeah, the Maya civilization, because you know they the ones that popularized. I'm so sorry about scratching my nose. You've heard of Nostradamus and all that stuff. You remember Nas the rapper? He called himself Nostradamus because that's what he was doing, was like giving out predictions and stuff. But the Maya civilization, 15,000 years ago, said the world was going to end. And they still talking about that now. So that's a very, very long time for the world to be coming to an end, and it hasn't ended yet. We don't know when it's going to end, because you know it just gets progressively worse over time, and that's what happens. Who knows if it'll just get real worse and start over again? You know, nothing's new under the sun. Anyhow, putting that information out there. But I made this video just to let you know, like, it's all kind of spirits out there, and you know, there are good ones, there are bad ones, depending on what people believe in, you know, what they practice. Like back then, long time ago, before Christianity came about, they was worshiping the sun god, they was worshiping the moon, they was worshiping something called Osiris. It's all kind of spirits they was worshiping. And they had evil, they had paganism. Paganism is a bunch of gods. A lot of religions worship more than one god, like Hinduism. Buddhism, I don't know if they just believe in themselves or what they believe in, but all these things are different. And then when you get into Protestantism, we worship one God, and that's what it is. The Catholics, they worship more than one God. I mean, I was checking them out. They worship Mary. They worship God, and they'll probably say, no, we don't worship that. Well, let me clear it up. They pray to more than one God. I'll put it that way. Like, they actually pray to Mary for miracles. They pray to God, and they pray to spirits. Cause like, you know how the Bible say, Luke is a book, and person that wrote Luke, Matthew or Mark, or in the New Testament, the Old Testament, Book of Genesis, Exodus, whatever the books are, the Laodiceans or whatever it's called, whatever the books is, right? They do that. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, people worship all kinds of spirits, and all kinds of different spirits, and that is to be known that your God is not the only God out there. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it real and 100. This is like religion uncut. Understand? God uncut, spirituality uncut. I probably should name my show The Gospel Street Uncut, and I may do that. But I just give you the knowledge I know, and I'm talking to people in Christianity. Anybody is more than welcome to check this out, because it's for everybody. But we in this Protestantism thing. But with the Catholics, they pray to spirits and angels, and that's what I was saying about the books. They pray to those people. They call them Saint Luke and Saint Mark and Saint Matthew. It's the because they saying that they was saints. You see what I'm saying? And they pray to them. So everybody do their own thing, and you gotta wonder at some point, like I did, why is it all different? I mean, why is it not all the same? So then they say, oh, it was man-made. Well, it was, but we don't do all that. You know, they tell you our God is a jealous God, but you got a whole lot of religions that don't say that. They pray to a bunch of gods. Santeria, I think is the name of it, or Santeria, whatever the name of it is. I might be messing it up. But just like with Catholicism, they pray to more than God. They pray to Mary, they pray to angels, and they pray to the saints. And so everybody's doing their own thing. And the question is, which one is right? We believe that whatever we're doing is right. So, because we get the responses we get, right? And that's what you go by. I mean, you know, and then you got this war where each religion is saying, our religion is the real religion. This is not the real religion. Your religion is not the real religion. Honey, I don't get into all that. You know what I'm saying? What's the point? Who knows? What I'm getting at is this. That's what Jerusalem, the temple, and all that stuff is about in the red heifer. The war between Islam and Christianity is simply beliefs. You see how this stuff is? Because that's where the war come in. Is one believe this and one believe that, and that's what the confuse. You know, right about the holy war and all this stuff. So it's all about what you believe in. That's why I don't get in that, because that's what religions try to do. Is say their religion is more real than the other one. I mean, all us doing different practices. What I always thought was there's a universal God, but who knows? You know, all you can do is just do what you do, and the spirit that you call on is the one that's responding. And if that spirit is treating you good, that's the one you need to go with. And so that's why these religions be arguing like, nah, I got the true God, because they God be treating them good. But how do we know that it's not the same God? You don't. So I mean, that I ain't trying to complicate things or confuse nothing. I'm just telling you I get a little bit deeper with it than just what I'm told. I like to know more. And you do need to know that back in the day there were other gods. And there are people that still worship other gods. And then you have such as the enemy. We know who that is. A bad demon. And a high demon, right? High up demon in hierarchy range. Because you know, angels and demons have different levels and different jobs of what they do. Okay. And so you got people that worship that stuff. And that stuff is real. Like celebrities, they worship it. I was listening to the Hebrew Israelites, and they was showing one of those people, one of those rappers, actually like doing voodoo or witchcraft, like calling on spirits to help her out. So that stuff is real. I don't know if all celebrities do it, but most definitely they showed her, and they called out a bunch of them. Sammy Davis Jr. Some of them actually admit to worshiping the devil and demons and using it to help them out. So what I'm saying is, don't be ignorant. Like, everybody got their own practice and belief. And let me just touch on this. So Christianity came about, and guess what it's about when you read the Bible? Discipleship. And discipleship is living like God and reaching people with the word of God, the Great Commission. So it's about the virtues and keeping the commandments and being righteous like God and actually being like him, like helping people and stuff like that, right? And the other part is the Great Commission, which is teaching the word. So you got people that some people get into discipleship, and when they get into that, that's what that is. So you just got all kind of different stuff out there, and that's just what it is. You know, I'm just keeping it simple, and just check my videos out. I really want you to get the truth and the knowledge about this stuff, because you know it's a lot of speculation. Because okay, like the Hebrew Israelites say that we are the Hebrews, that we are the Israelites, and I'm gonna get in that in the next video. But anyway, y'all be blessed. All right.